Hey everyone and welcome back. We are taking a deep dive today into DIY jewelry.
Ooh,
I
fun.
know, right? We've got this really amazing guide that covers like everything. Seriously, it's got jump rings and beads and wire wrapping, polymer clay, resin, macramé, chainmail.
Wow.
I know. Even upcycling and engraving. And it even gets into like,
Wait, really?
yeah, tips on how to like sell your jewelry. So if you're feeling crafty, let's dive in.
I'm ready. What's first?
Well, what I think is so cool about this guide is that it starts with like the super basics. Like it doesn't assume you already know everything. So
Right.
it starts with jump rings.
Oh, yeah, jumping rings, those little metal
Yeah,
rings.
exactly. The ones that connect everything together.
I have to admit, they always seemed kind of simple to me.
Right. But there's actually a lot to it.
Yeah, like what?
Well, this guy actually like gets into the different types of jump rings and how to use each one.
That makes sense. I guess they're not all created equal.
Definitely not. Like the guy talks about how like the type of jump ring you use can actually like affect how strong your jewelry
Oh,
is.
that's good to know. I've definitely had jewelry break on me before, and I never knew if it was the jump rings or what.
Yeah, could totally be the jump rings, but the guide's got you covered. And speaking of covered, you know what else is cool?
What?
Your first project is making a keychain.
A keychain, really?
I know, using jump rings. So smart, right?
That's actually really smart, so you get a win right away.
Exactly. And then you're all confident and ready to tackle, like, the harder stuff.
I like it. What's next?
Beads.
Ooh, beads. I feel like everyone loves beads.
I know, right? And this guide covers, like, every kind of bead you can imagine.
No way. Like what?
Okay, so, like, glass beads, acrylic beads, gemstones, wooden beads, pearls.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
I know. It's amazing, right? And I seriously could spend hours just looking at all the different beads.
Same. But honestly, what's even more important than just like the pretty beads is
Yeah.
that your jewelry doesn't fall apart, right?
Oh, for sure. Nobody wants beads spilling everywhere.
Exactly. And that's another thing I love about this guide. It actually teaches you different stringing techniques, like, how to make sure your beads are secure.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like it covers using elastic cord and wire and even thread, like depending on what you're making.
So you're saying I won't have any more embarrassing bead explosion incidents if I follow this guide.
Hopefully not. Unless you're going for that look.
Haha, no bead explosions for me, thanks. Okay, so we've got jump rings, we've got beads. What's next?
Now things get really interesting. We're moving on to wire wrapping.
Ooh, wire wrapping. I love that stuff.
Me too. It's so cool how you can basically use wire to like create anything, like rings and pendants and
I know. It always seems so complicated, though.
right. But this guide actually breaks it down and makes it like surprisingly easy to understand.
Really?
Yeah, like first it explains all about wire gauge, which is basically like how thick the wire is.
Oh, okay. So, like, I guess you would use a thicker wire for, like, a bigger pendant or something.
Exactly. And the guide explains all of that, like why it's important to choose the right gauge for your project so that your jewelry is strong and doesn't, bend out of shape.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then it teaches you like the basic technique for wire wrapping. So you learn how to secure the wire and how to create loops and
And how to add beads and stuff?
yes, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Okay, after wire wrapping comes,
Polymer clay.
oh, polymer clay. That stuff is so much fun. It's basically like playing with colorful dough, but then it bakes into, like, hard jewelry.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that the guide actually gives you step-by-step instructions.
For everything.
Yeah, like how to condition the clay and how to shape it, how to bake it, even how to sand it and polish it afterwards.
Oh, wow. So you could, like, make it super smooth and shiny?
Yeah, and they even talk about different techniques you can use, like how to create marbled effects or how to imprint textures.
So cool.
I know, right? I feel like the possibilities are endless with polymer clay.
Oh, totally. Like, you could make earrings, pendants, charms, beads. You could even make, like, a whole matching pet of jewelry.
Seriously. And the best part is you can personalize it, like add your own little touches.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I've seen people use scamps to put designs on polymer clay or, like, carve little details into it. That's so cool.
Yeah, or even just mixing different colors of clay together to create your own custom shades.
Okay, I am officially adding polymer clay to my shopping list. What else is there?
All right, now we're getting to something that feels kind of magical.
Ooh, magical. Tell me more.
Resin.
Resin. Okay, yeah, that is pretty magical.
Right. I mean, you're basically trapping things in clear, glossy material.
And it looks so cool. Like, you could see everything perfectly preserved inside.
I know. It's like creating your own little world. You can put like dried flowers in there, or glitter, or charms, or even photographs.
Whoa, photographs. That's wild.
I know. It's amazing, right?
The possibilities with resins are kind of endless, huh?
They really are. It's so much fun to experiment with.
Okay, so now I have a question, because resin seems A little,
Intense.
yeah, maybe, like, are there any safety things we need to know about?
Oh, absolutely. And that's something this guide is really good about. Like right from the start, it talks about safety precautions.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it emphasizes like wearing gloves and a mask and working in a well-ventilated area.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they really stress how important it is to be safe when you're working with resin.
Good, because I'd much rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly. And then like they walk you through the whole process, from mixing the resin to adding colors and to
Making sure it hardens properly.
Yep. It's kind of like a science experiment that results in beautiful jewelry.
I love that description. Okay, what's next?
Let's talk about macramé.
Ooh, macrame. That's all about knots, right?
Yes, and it's so trendy right now. Like everyone's making macramé wall hangings and plant hangers, but you can also make some seriously cool jewelry with it.
I've seen that, like those boho-style bracelets and necklaces. So pretty.
Right. And this guide makes it super easy to learn. Like it starts by teaching you the essential knots, the square knot, the half knot, and the lark's head knot.
Okay, that's good because knots always intimidate me a little.
I get it. But the guide like breaks it down step by step and they have these clear diagrams and illustrations.
Oh, nice. So it's not just like good luck figuring it out.
Definitely not. They really hold your hand through the whole process.
Okay, so once you've got those basic knots down, what then?
Well, then you can start making like more intricate designs.
Cool. Like what?
Like, different patterns and textures, and you can even learn how to create adjustable closures for bracelets and necklaces, so they'll fit anyone.
Oh, that's so handy. I love adjustable jewelry.
Me too. It's so much more versatile.
Okay, get ready for this one. We're moving on to chainmail.
Chainmail, like the armor.
Yes, like knights in shining armor chainmail.
Wow. I never thought about using chainmail for jewelry.
Right, but it's actually becoming really popular, and it looks way cooler than you might think.
Huh. I'm intrigued. So is it hard to make?
Well, this guide makes it surprisingly accessible, even for beginners. Like, they start you off with basic jump ring weaving patterns.
Jump ring again.
I know. They're everywhere.
So you're telling me I could potentially make my own chainmail bracelet?
Totally. You just need jump rings and this guide. And some patience.
I'm going to have to try that.
You definitely should. It's really fun.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of techniques so far. Jump rings, beads, wire wrapping, polymer clay, resin, macramé, chainmail.
Phew, I know, right? It's a lot, but there's more.
There's more, seriously.
Seriously. We haven't even talked about upcycling yet.
Oh, yeah, upcycling. I was wondering about that. So what does this guide say about it?
Well, basically, it's all about giving old materials a new life, right?
Right. Turning trash into treasure.
Exactly. And it's so eco-friendly, which I love.
Me too. So what kind of stuff can you upcycle into jewelry?
Pretty much anything you could imagine. Like, the guy encourages you to look at everyday objects in a whole new way.
I like that.
Me too. Like, for example, you can use old buttons as charms.
Oh, that's cute.
Right. Or you can turn bottle caps into pendants. And even, get this,
What?
denim.
Denim. Like from jeans. What do they do with denim? They use denim to make earrings to cut it into shapes, and they like layer it and add beads and studs and stuff.
Really? That's so cool.
I know, right? It's such a creative way to like upcycle your old jeans.
I love it. Okay, so upcycling is officially on my list of things to try.
It should be. It's so much fun.
Okay, so we've covered jump rings and beads and wire wrapping and all that. What else is there?
Well, it wouldn't be a complete jewelry making guide without personalization, right?
Oh, true. Like adding your own little touches.
Exactly. And this guide goes into all sorts of ways to personalize your jewelry, like engraving and metal stamping and even working with polymer clay to add details.
Oh, cool. So you could, like, put someone's initials on a necklace?
Yep. Or a special date on a bracelet.
Ooh, or even like a secret message on a ring?
Totally. The possibilities are endless.
This is amazing. I'm getting so many ideas.
Me too. And, it's not just about the techniques. The guide also encourages you to think about the meaning behind your pieces.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, like what story do you want to tell with your jewelry? What emotions do you want to evoke?
That's so cool. It's like each piece becomes a tiny work of art with its own special significance.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of art, there's one more technique we need to talk about.
Oh, there's more. Lay it on me.
Metal clay.
Metal clay. What is that?
It's like, it sounds clay that's made from metal particles. You shape it just like regular clay, and then you fire it in a kiln.
Okay. And then what?
And then it turns into solid metal.
Whoa, seriously.
Seriously. You can make rings and pendants and earrings, anything you want.
So it's like scoping with metal. That's insane.
I know, right? It's kind of mind-blowing.
It does sound kind of like magic, like turning clay into silver or gold.
Right, and this guide, of course, like walks you through the whole process.
Of course.
So you'll learn about the different types of metal clay and how to fire it and how to finish it.
Wow, this guide really does hear everything, doesn't it?
It really does. And you know what else? It doesn't just teach you how to make jewelry. It also talks about turning your hobby into a business.
Wait, really? Like selling your jewelry?
Yep. It's like having a business mentor right there in the guide.
That is so cool.
I know, right? Like, it covers everything from pricing your pieces to marketing and branding, even setting up shop online or at craft fairs.
Wow, that's really comprehensive.
Right. It's pretty amazing.
It is. I mean, it's one thing to, make jewelry for fun,
Right.
but it's a whole other thing to, like, actually know how to sell it and turn it into a business.
Totally. And this guide gives you all the tools and information you need to do just that.
I'm seriously impressed. Okay, confession time. I thought this was just going to be about learning how to make pretty jewelry,
Haha, me too.
but this guide is so much more than that. It's like, it's not just about the jewelry, it's about creativity and passion and even, like, business skills.
It's true. It's really inspiring.
It is. Like, it makes you feel like you can do anything
Exactly. And that you can share your passion with the world.
and maybe even make a living doing it.
Yep. The guide really empowers you to take your jewelry making to the next level.
Okay, so before we get too carried away with all these big dreams,
Right.
remember how we talked about safety with resin?
Yeah.
Are there any other techniques in here that we need to, like, be extra careful with?
That's a great question. And yes, there are definitely a few others.
Okay, tell me everything.
So with wire wrapping, especially when you're using thicker wire, you got to be careful of the sharp edges. It's easy to get a little nick or scratch.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so the guide recommends using wire cutters that are specifically designed for jewelry making
Makes sense.
and also wearing safety glasses to protect your eyes from, flying bits of wire.
Ooh, good call. I've definitely had some close calls with wire cutters before.
Yeah, it happens. And then another one is metal stamping because you're hammering metal stamps into metal blanks.
Oh, yeah, metal stamping. I've seen that. It looks really cool.
It is really cool. But yeah, you definitely want to use a sturdy work surface and a rubber mallet.
Oh, yeah, so you don't hurt your hand.
Exactly. And of course, safety glasses are a must.
Always got to protect those eyes. Anything else?
The guide also mentions ventilation with polymer clay.
Oh, right, because you're baking it.
Exactly. So it's best to work in a well-ventilated area so you don't inhale any of the fumes.
Okay, good to know.
And it's also smart to use an oven thermometer to make sure you're baking the clay at the correct temperature.
So it doesn't burn.
Yep. So basically, just be smart and follow the safety guidelines and you'll be good to go.
Perfect. Safety first, creativity second. I like it.
Me too.
Okay, so all this talk about safety has got me thinking about something else.
What's that?
What about the environmental impact of all this jewelry making?
Ooh, that's a great point. And actually, the guide does touch on that.
It does.
Yeah. Remember how we talked about upcycling? Well, the guide also gets into sustainability and ethical sourcing of materials.
Like where your beads and your metal and all that comes from.
Exactly. It's important to be aware of the environmental impact of mining for gemstones and stuff.
Totally.
And the guide encourages you to look for recycled metals and to support businesses that are committed to, ethical and sustainable practices.
I'm so glad it includes all of that.
Me too. It makes you feel good about your jewelry making, knowing that you're not harming the planet or anything.
Exactly. Okay, I have to say, this deep dive has been amazing.
I know, right? We've covered so much.
It's like my brain is overflowing with jewelry making knowledge and inspiration.
Mine too. It's really sparked my creativity.
Mine too. I'm feeling so energized and ready to go make all the things.
Me too. And it's amazing how one little guide can have such a big impact.
I know, right? Like, it's not just about jewelry. It's about, tapping into your creative potential.
Yes. And discovering a whole new way to express yourself.
And connecting with a community of other makers.
Exactly. It's really special.
It really is. And, this guide has, seriously opened my eyes to all the possibilities of jewelry making. It's like I'm starting to see the world differently now.
How so?
I'm noticing all these interesting shapes and textures and colors that I probably would have just, ignored before.
Oh, I totally get that. It's once you start thinking about making jewelry, you start seeing inspiration everywhere.
Exactly. And speaking of inspiration, I've been thinking about, the social aspect of jewelry. How it can be a way to express your personal style.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Jewelry is definitely a form of self-expression.
Right. What you choose to wear can say a lot about who you are.
Totally. And it's been that way for centuries. Think about ancient cultures, how they would adorn themselves with shells and stones and feathers.
Oh, yeah. To show their status or their beliefs.
Exactly. It's jewelry has always been a way for people to communicate something about themselves.
That's so cool. And it's still true today. Sometimes I feel like wearing big, bold statement pieces that make me feel confident and powerful.
Right. And other times you might want something more delicate and understated.
Exactly. It all just depends on, like, my mood and what I want to project.
And that's the beauty of it, right? You can use jewelry to, like, really express your individuality.
Totally. And it's not just about personal style either. Like, you can also wear jewelry to, like, make a statement or support a cause.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like those bracelets that raise awareness for different charities.
Yeah. Or like a pendant with a symbol that represents something you believe in.
Exactly. It's a way to, like, start conversations and connect with people who share your values.
I love that. It's like you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, but it's on a necklace or a bracelet.
Aha, exactly. Okay, but beyond all that, you know what else I love about jewelry making? It's so therapeutic.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like so calming and relaxing.
Totally. It's a great way to de-stress and just, like, focus on something creative.
It's almost meditative.
Right, like you get so absorbed in the process that you forget about all your worries.
And then when you're finished and you have this like beautiful piece of jewelry that you made yourself,
The feeling of accomplishment is amazing.
it really is. It's like you're proud of yourself for creating something so beautiful.
And unique, because, no two handmade pieces are ever exactly alike.
That's so true. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's safe to say that this guide has taught us way more than just how to make jewelry.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gone so much deeper than that.
It's like it's given us a whole new appreciation for the art of jewelry making.
And for the power of creativity.
Yes. And it's reminded us that anyone can be creative.
You don't have to be like a professional artist or anything.
Exactly. If you have the desire to create, you can do it.
And this guide gives you all the tools and knowledge you need to get started.
And the inspiration.
So much inspiration.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am feeling so inspired right now. I'm ready to, like, go raid my recycling bin for upcycling materials and get to work.
Aha, me too. I'm already picturing all the amazing things I'm going to make.
I know. And that's the beauty of this guide, right? It's given us the skills and the confidence to create anything we can imagine.
Exactly. So what are you waiting for? Go make something beautiful.
Yes. To all our listeners out there, we encourage you to embrace your creativity and explore the world of jewelry making. And don't forget to have fun. Your Camo Life?